Yeah, I didn't catch that at the time. I guess you could read it again, but he said he was going to fax that to me, so we have it down.
Okay. Yeah, it was a stamp they have made.
Could you read it?
Yeah, I can read it. It says, notice as to declared intent of purpose of this tender of payment as a special deposit order of payor and beneficiary, and is to be credited to the depositor's account,
Michael,
as accord and satisfaction and payment in full and discharge of any and all outstanding liabilities.
Well, that's quite a stamp.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So maybe they modified it, or maybe they got it in enough space where they can stamp it on the back.
Right. Well, it sounds like it would cover a pretty big area with that.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what they fax over and see if it's the same thing.
Yeah, I use Rubber Stamp Warehouse in Omaha. They do stamps pretty cheaply.
Okay.
Rubberstampwarehouse.com. Ask for David. Tell him I sent you.
Okay. Rubberstamp.com.
Rubberstampwarehouse.com.
Warehouse.com. Okay.
Okay.
And David. Okay.
And so these 1099s we can do without having the estoppel in place. So I'm going to call. I got my green card for my estoppel back from Cleveland on Monday, and I haven't heard anything from them. And if they had recorded it right away and sent it back by ordinary mail, I should have seen it Thursday or Friday. So I may call them up on Monday and jiggle their chain after I see what the mail brings on Monday.
Right. Well, for myself, I actually went down to the recorder's office here, my local one here in California.
Yeah.
Since I went to pick up another coupon, another certificate of live birth, I took my paperwork with me, the estoppel, but I didn't modify it. I just took it with me, and just to see what they would say, because I also wanted to see what the book and page was, and I was planning on writing that in, handwrite that in. But once I got there, they sent me to another department, and they told me that they don't do book and pages anymore in California, that it's just the registration number and I guess the district number on top. That's about it.
Maybe that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so I just went ahead and, tried to record it anyway. When I got to the window there, the lady took it and pretty much read through it and inspected all the other documents I had on there, like the page for the Bible entry for my birth.
Yeah.
And then she stepped away and talked, I guess, to her supervisor. She was there for a while, and then she came back and she gave me a page, a recorder's notice stating that they have no authority to record it at that time. And, at that time I was going to, make a big deal about it and talk to anybody who's able, the supervisor anyway, wasn't able to come out. But like I said, I hadn't modified it, so I just went ahead and took the notice, and I'm planning to go back hopefully this week and modify the estoppel by deed and put a little more, I guess, information that's relevant. That's not as much as information that it has right now, but modify it a little more. And also, I think the gentleman on the few calls ago says it's a good idea to have a notarized affidavit on front of that. So maybe that'll work better.
Yeah, someone did mention that. Now, that's a good question we should ask Patrick. Now, One of the things that I've heard is that Pinal County and I think Maricopa County in Arizona have said they'll record anything, even if it's a ham sandwich.
I guess all they want to see is just the fees, I guess.
And it might be, we'd have to run this by Patrick, we could record it down there and then ask for a certified copy from them, and then record a certified copy at the birth county.
Okay, yeah, that's another option. That's good. No, I also have a pending court case, which I plan to take an estoppel by deed into that too, also. So if it gets recorded in there, I can also have that as another, authority to have it recorded in the county.
That's great. I didn't think of that aspect. You're right. It may not get recorded at the county, but it could be recorded at the court, which you could then bang on the county with.
I believe if anybody else in another county or state, if there's a miscellaneous recording section, I'm pretty much sure that all of them have it. You can record it into there.
Well, property stuff, you don't necessarily have to record it in your own county. You can do it in an adjacent county. Right. But the birth may be different.
But I mean, in case you don't have a court case or anything like that, but you can open up a miscellaneous court case maybe.
Oh, okay. That's
so
true.
If anybody has any questions regarding, the receipts and the endorsements and the cover letter, anything.
Well, I wanted to make sure what your receipts were for, and you explained to me when I called it's from money orders that you got.
Right.
It's a perfect way to recycle money.
Well, I mean, it needed to be tested out, so I mean, they're mostly for utilities and other necessities here at the home.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and try it out. I mean, we got to test this out. If it's going to work, if we get some kind of feedback, we're missing something, as long as we get something back in return.
Sure. And so I guess that's another way of paying the utilities, is do it that way.
Yeah. Now, one thing I did not put up there is the actual receipts, but what I plan to do on the back of the receipts is put per invoice number, and then the number of the invoice, and then my signature, and then my individual banker, and maybe my EIN number on the back of the receipt.
Okay. Well, really nailing it down for them.
Yeah. So I hope to have this package ready to go for tomorrow with the certified number.
So did anybody look at that and have any questions or comments for Guillermo? Yeah, I will get to my customized draw, but Patrick says it's possible they may work coupon draw. Patrick says it's possible they may work without the estoppel, but it would be much better to have the estoppel.
Okay. The coupon draw also, that would be also for the Social Security account.
Yeah, those are the ones where he went after the two samples. Or was that? No, that was his 1099. He had 1099A sample going against an 11.2 million insurance policy.
Right. Right. One.
But you could also do a coupon draw just for some funds. Because he has.
Okay, well, I did send it out to my local district, San Francisco, but I haven't heard anything back from them. It's been about a week now.
Okay. And
but I did not send a 1099A.
Right. And we didn't have the estoppel then either. Right, you didn't send a certified copy of the estoppel with it.
No, like I say, I tried to record that in the county, and I didn't. The county didn't take it at the time.
Right.
So I plan to go back this week.
Okay. Well, we'll see what mine is doing. You know,
How about Ray? Did he get out there to you, Tom?
No. Tell us where you are, Ray. He's on the line. At least I saw him on the line.
I said, yes, I am.
Hi.
I'm still in Seattle. Good news is, okay, I've gotten some help from some people. So basically, since my vehicle burnt down, I happen to get another vehicle. Right now, I just need to do a replacement. It's actually about a 10-year-old vehicle. And it just need to get a fuel pump for it. Put it in there, and I'm ready to go. And I'm actually waiting for my family to send me some money so I can actually pay the gasoline to get out and help you there. Okay. Which my family said they would actually try to send me a little amount of money because I've used up whatever has been sent to me to actually get through this tragedy, which I call a tragedy because I shouldn't have to lose my home, but it happened.
Right.
At least I didn't get myself and my kids killed, so that's the good part. By kids, I mean my cats.
Yeah, at least it didn't happen out on the road.
Thank God for that. But yeah, it was a total loss. Total loss.
But the engine's still in good shape?
Excuse me?
He says the engine's still in decent shape?
No, it's gone.
Okay.
The engine is gone, and the only thing they can use it is for taking it apart, cleaning it in parts, parting it out. So other than that, the van, I wouldn't have been able to get there.
Right.
And that's where I stand right now. I'm at my friend's house, hearing the call, and just hoping I can get there and finish the rest of the documents.
Right. Yeah, it will allow you to be able to sit and concentrate on them.
By the way, I got news for you. California sent my estoppel by deed. They sent it back.
What did they say?
They didn't say anything. It's right now at the post office. I got to go get it tomorrow. Okay. They send it back registered mail the same way, but they did not record it.
Okay.
Just so I don't know if something's going on because of the way we're doing the paperwork, but apparently my presumption on this is that they're scared shitless now that they know we're on the right track. And they don't want to record anything in California because they're afraid of the consequences.
Yep. Guillermo had the same experience.
I went to the Norwalk office, Ray.
Excuse me?
I went to the Norwalk office.
That's where I sent my documents. They sent me.
Also, they got two of them there. Surprise, surprise.
Yes. I did not know that.
They know something.
That's the office I sent my documents to. 101 Imperial Highway, something like that?
Yeah, they're on Imperial Highway, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the same register I sent my documents to. So no, they sent me the document back.
Okay, when I went down there, they gave me a notice saying the reason for refusal to record is that they have no authority to record it. But if you feel that you can have a judicial review, but in a court.
I don't think they have authority to reject it.
Bill Smith and Lars Singleton.
Hi, Bill.
Hello.
Hey.
You're right. They don't have the authority to refuse it. The only thing they have to do is record it. They're not there to fight, hassle, or do anything other than record it.
But I think you're right regarding, once they read it, they're a little paranoid,
Yeah, they should be. They should be.
Yeah. So like I told Tom, I'm going to modify mine a little bit, but basically just take it down to a court where I have a court case right now and record it there, and then go back to the county recorders and see what they say now.
Okay. Bill, this is Guillermo speaking, who did the paperwork I showed you earlier. Or did you mute yourself?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
How you doing, Bill?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. My name's Bill, too. Bill is Guillermo in English. Or Spanish.
Beg your pardon?
Bill is English for Guillermo.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Welcome, Chelsea. She's new on the calls.
Good.
Hello, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Guillermo, California.
I'm going to mute out now.
Any questions, Bill, regarding this package of documents?
Oh, wait.
Well, he was kind of shocked by the fact that you could cash into money orders.
Well, according to Patrick, they're using us as collateral in the postal system.
Right.
So anything that we purchase through them should be reimbursed.
That's no different than sending in $1,200 a Kroger bill.
Right.
Hello, Tom.
Yeah?
Yes, I was just listening. People are having problems recording at the recorder's office.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been having the same problem, but what helped was I actually went over all of their rules and their codes, and they, all of the recorder's offices usually have specs, margins, leaving the 3.5 inches at the top, and then they have various rules on what documents and how they record them. So I went over all of them. So you just have to make it conform to something that they will record. That's why I found the affidavit to be the most useful and the most appropriate, because the only other document that they would record without question would be a UCC. And I'm not going to record it behind a UCC, so I just chose the affidavit side. So just looking at the rules would help a lot, because they cannot refuse if the document conforms exactly. So that's what helped me to find that answer.
Yeah. Patrick had told us to go get the requirements, and I did for mine. What did your affidavit address?
It's just basically saying that on this particular date that the banker's lien and the estoppel by deed was recorded into the recorder's office, and then that's it. It's just that it was an affidavit just stating that the estoppel by deed and the banker's lien was recorded on that particular date, and then everything is attached on the back. That's it.
After it was submitted on that date, you don't know for sure it was recorded until they did it.
Well, I did, because I was there in person to record it, and I got my ducks on the spot.
So they did record it with the affidavit?
Yeah, I got everything that day, that minute. Basically just waited for like 10, 15 minutes for them to process the payment, give me my file number, and I got 10 certified copies right there on the spot. That's it.
Okay, good.
So another question that I had, I don't know if people are there yet, but after looking at Patrick's 1099As for the estate, the Mortmain estate and the Foreign Granite Trust addresses that he's sending to Atlanta, I'm pretty much all ready to go with sending mine to Philadelphia, but it looks like he's sending it to the Notice of Formation and Change in Bank Control Department of that Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta. So
yeah, the reason he picked Atlanta is because the red number on the back of his Social Security card began with F for Atlanta.
Right, F. Mine is C, so it's Philadelphia.
Well, mine is
So
F2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it just looks like the phone number that he's using goes back to a specific branch in Atlanta called within the bank called Notice of Formation and Change of Bank Control Division Department, and there's one for every single branch. So I'm just following and looking at that. I can post a page on the shareholder site, the FRB link to all of those addresses to that specific division. I don't know if that'll help.
Okay, that'll help.
Because the Philadelphia one is different from 10 Independence Mall. It's like this 100 North Street or something like that, going to like a William Lang, vice president of that division. Okay, that's the only question I had.
Okay.
That was the Treasury Direct, right, in Philadelphia?
Yeah. The COLB Mortmain is directed to Treasury Direct. The Social Security is directed to the FRB bank in Philadelphia because mine is a C on the back of that Social Security card. And then, but then for Philadelphia, it's not that notice of change in formation, change in bank control head is in a different location from 10 Independence Mall. It's on 100 North 6th Street or something like that. So I was gonna send it there, express tomorrow.
Cover your ass and send it to everywhere.
Yeah, maybe I should just send a copy to both 10 Independence and to that vice president. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cover your ass, both of them at the same time, and let's see what happens.
Yep. Great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was the other address you said besides 10 Independence Mall?
Hold on. I can give you the... Hold on. Let me just pull it up.
How did you find that other address, too?
It's for Philadelphia. It's Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, William Lang, Senior Vice President, 100 North 6th Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19105-1521. I'll just post the link on the shareholder site. It's on the Federal Reserve Bank page, but you have to drill deeper into that site. But I'll just post it.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That'd be helpful. Thank you.
All right, I'll get the information.
Yeah, area code 360, you have a lot of noise. Yeah, radio, you were calling me?
Yeah, just to keep it out of the call, and if you could. But Patrick's not going to be on the call tonight, or is he?
I'm on the call. I'm just listening to you guys talk for a while. I mean, I haven't got anything new to talk about. You guys can talk. About time you guys started talking.
That's true.
We just got to put more things into action, Patrick. I think it's time we put some. All this studying is good, but we still got to put stuff into action.
You got your estoppel recorded, right, Patrick?
Yes.
And they didn't give you any hassle about it.
I sent you. I'm pretty sure what the hell the instructions that basically my clerk sent back to me, stating what she needed.
Okay.
for my recorder, and that's all I did. And that's what I told you guys to do. Let's go down there, ask what they need to have to record a document.
And I did that.
And you guys need to do that, and then you submit it in.
Okay.
You have to have the title and the cover page and everything else. Guys have to follow the damn instructions, okay? Ask them what they want. And then put it in there.
Mine was almost the same, except they didn't want a cover page. They said they don't accept any filings with a cover page. Well,
They don't accept anything with a cover page?
Yeah, that's what they said. Very, very plain. The biggest thing on their website.
Well, whatever they say, okay, that's what you need to do.
So I basically removed the word cover page from your document. Changed the wording around a little bit. So I'll see tomorrow. You know, tomorrow they will have had it. That will be the 8th day they had it tomorrow.
Well, just call them up and ask them, is there any problem with the recording, okay? Ask them.
I will. I plan to see what mail brings in the morning. If I don't get anything, I will call them.
No, just call them up and ask them. See, basically, hey, is there any problem with the documents I submitted, or do I need to do something different? Okay?
Okay.
You don't have to wait for them, okay?
Right, you don't. You're pretty aggressive with that.
Still saying, ask and you shall receive, okay? You're going to receive an answer one way or another. You're doing intercourse, okay? Intercourse is not just going out there and having sex, okay? Intercourse is a common thing that everybody has to operate with in this world, okay?
Yep.
You have to go out there and have intercourse. If you don't have intercourse, basically you're not going to have a reaction. We're in the age of Pisces, and people don't even understand that. What is Pisces? It's the twins. It's the fish that's above and the fish that's below. The mirror image of one another. The twins.
We're entering it.
The living above ground and the living below the ground. The two. Your birth sac and you. Pisces.
Water. Yes.
Not just water. Pisces. Aquarius is also water. When did this season start? The age of the Pisces. Supposedly with the birth of Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Damn. Redemption. Everything. Jesus came to show us the way and the path. He came to show us what was going on in the age of Pisces. How the bankers were going to operate. They've been staring everybody in the face. The zodiac is one of the key components out here in the universe that they operate by.
Patrick?
Yes.
I got my banker's EIN, but I'm not sure I got the right thing. When I got the identification paper back from it, I did it online, and it says individual banker, my name, private bank exempt. Now, will that be the same as the banker's EIN?
That is the individual banker's EIN.
That
if
is
you
it?
basically filled it out pretty much, and before you submitted it, had your summary page, and they show you the summary page before you go in and hit enter and send or whatever, and you check the summary page with the summary page that I posted up there, you're good to go.
Okay. Well, I had your summary page, and it said principal products or services, private unincorporated bank, and that's what I put in. But when it came back, it said that I was a individual bank, and that's my heading.
Individual banker. That's what you are. Okay?
Oh,
Your
okay.
fictional person is an individual banker. You're not a private banker. Read the definitions in the dictionary. Okay? I talked about this when we first started this way back when I went in there. Okay? There's a big difference between a private banker and an individual banker. Now, we can have a private bank, but we are not a private banker. We're an individual banker.
Okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah, see, you have to know the word definitions, okay? Words is where it's all at.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is Chelsea. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I have my 1096 form, my 1099-C, and my 1099-A. Are those the only forms that I need to get my 3 EIN numbers?
No.
Well, you don't get the EIN numbers using those forms, okay? You fill out those forms, and you use those forms after you get your EIN numbers.
Okay.
Okay? And then you fill them out appropriately. And the individual banker's EIN, the only form that you're going to use that on is the 1041 form as the fiduciary authorizing agent when you sign the document down below.
Okay. I'm very, very, very new to this whole process.
I know. That's why, basically, in a lot of cases, you have to get in there and start utilizing the Skype group and the people on the group site and try and ask questions. Try and get a working relationship. Try and find people in your local area. Okay? You go onto the group site, and there's also a link in there to basically for people to sort of link together in a group. Within a group.
The one person that I know who told me about this, Ray, he's leaving town, so
there's other people up there in Washington. Get on the Skype group or get on the We the People group and ask if there's any other people there in Washington, and you could link up with them.
But we'll stay in touch, Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, and I'll still got to download the SS4s for you to actually do your application for your EINs. So
yeah, that's what I was wondering is if I had the forms for that. So
no, you don't.
So the SS4 form is the one I need.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
It is pretty simple. Okay, you need to have that summary sheet, and then basically you can take the SS4 that basically we have on the group site there, and it's also on econcurrent.com in the file section.
/divine.
Yeah,
okay.
in the file section a while back, but it's there, and you have to read the instructions on those documents.
Okay.
When you're filling them out. Use a little forethought when you're filling them out.
Well, I've listened to the first 10 calls on the eConcurrent Divine Calls, list, and then in the last couple of days, I've listened to the first 3 or 4 of the last 20. So I've gotten a little bit of background there, and it's starting. I'm getting a little more comfortable with hearing all these different words that I've not been.
Yeah, listen to them backwards. Start with the most recent and go backwards.
Okay. All
backwards to the calls and backwards to the documents.
And a lot of the words I had Tom post up on the group site too, okay? Word definitions. And I highlighted different parts in the word definitions to try and bring out the importance of those words, what they were saying.
And
yeah,
everyone
I'm realizing that I need to get a Valentine's and maybe a Black's dictionary.
They're on the group site, and they're also on eConcurrent in dictionaries.
Right.
Okay. You know, you're doing a wonderful thing, and I thank you.
Okay.
All of you.
For the definitions, almost every one of the files containing the definitions has the word definition in the file name. So it should be easier to find.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
So I need the SSR form and the summary sheet for my EIN numbers, yeah?
Right. The SS4 form for the private individual banker is on April 28th, and the summary sheet is on May 1st.
April 28th and May what?
May 1st. May Day.
Okay. And those are the files up on, those are the file dates?
That's the most recent directory.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick, I do have to pull the more current documents out and do a new directory.
Yeah.
Well, any more questions? Anything you'd like to discuss?
I got
just one thing.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is all 47 numbers are private numbers?
So far, all the private banker numbers have been starting with 47, private individual bankers.
Whether they say it or not, it's a banker number.
Pardon?
I managed to get one, but it didn't come out like that.
Well, if it came out and it said there's an individual banker's EIN, then basically go with it.
Well, it didn't come out like that.
Well, then you didn't do it right. That's what I'm saying. You need to take a look and see what the summary sheet, and you need to print these pages out, okay?
Right.
When you get to a certain point, you print it out to have all the information. The summary sheet is the one right before you hit enter, and make sure that your summary sheet pretty much is what my summary sheet looked like, and that should get you in the ballpark. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, okay? Because everybody's going to be a little different. But it's a guideline to get you to the point that you need to go to.
Okay.
Ray?
You said something, Thomas?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to say something.
Yeah, it was just on the recording. Maybe I'm doing something on the recording and on the page, so I'm going to have to figure that one out.
Okay.
So once I figure that out, I'll let you know what's going on. And I hope I have the time because it's going to take a couple of days for my aunt to send me the check, so I can actually come up with money for gas to get over there. So
Okay.
but I'll probably be leaving around Wednesday or Thursday.
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah. I'm going to mute out.
Patrick?
You know, I'm looking at something very, very odd. Okay, I'm in the Philadelphia Federal Reserve banking system. Contact us. Okay, and basically what it's talking about here, they have several different places to contact, and what they have is Fatima, MBOG or OUP. Well, I don't know how many people know anything about Fatima. Okay, but basically Fatima was over in Portugal about the Virgin Mary.
Yep.
Why would that Fatima be in the Federal Reserve Bank? The word Fatima. You might take a look at that definition and find out what's going on here.
It's an attachment to the church or a branch of the church.
Not necessarily, okay? It's attachment to what? Rome.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah.
All roads lead to Rome, okay? That document that I had Tom post up there last week or whatever about Gaius, G-A-U or G-A-I-U-S. You are a American Gaius citizen, an American Roman citizen. The last in the book of Daniel, okay, before the age of Pisces came about, this was addressed about the layers of control over the people that were going to be out there. The Roman, or the Medes, Persians, the Babylonians, the Medes, Persians, then the Greeks, then the Romans, and then the clay over iron. The Romans were the iron, the calves, and then the lower part of the legs, they had clay over iron. The codes over the Roman laws. Iron was the Roman law. And see, that's what we are in right now, is basically the codes have overlaid the Roman laws that are in the background. And that's the clay over iron. Now, we're getting ready to go into the age of Aquarius, and I don't know how that is going to change this whole banking structure when we go into that age. But it will be a completely different banking structure at that point in time. But you right now are classified as an American Gaius or Gaius or whatever it is, Roman citizen. And that's why you are a foreigner to these codes and everything that are out here. That now would bring out your W-8-B-N or IMY or whatever it is document for you to be basically a whatever in their banking system. Because you are tied back to being a Roman citizen. by birth. You're not a slave. You were born a free man in this process. So you are a Roman citizen, a freed man or woman. You start utilizing all the proper terminologies, and basically you will get your proper understanding and your proper respect against them. You start operating back with the real laws, and all the codes have been created pretty much since the 14th Amendment. The 13th Amendment basically said that there will be no forced indentured servitude. So everything has to be voluntary. And all the amendments after that have done an infringement upon the people's rights, the 9th and 10th Amendments, that you have to volunteer by your signature or whatever to volunteer to be controlled by them. People have been released from prison. Yeah, they've been held there for a while by not giving any name or anything else. There was one woman down in Florida that basically was running drugs, helping in the process. She got picked up. She didn't turn anybody else in. She never gave them her name or anything. She sat in jail for about a year, but then they released her because they couldn't hold her because they didn't have anything to hold.
Hmm.
Because she did not give them consent. I think the name of the movie was Free Ride. And it was a documentary movie. I told you a lot of these things are basically brought out in the movies. That's what basically people should start looking at. Get a little entertainment out of it, but open your eyes and start reading between the lines in the movies and find out what the moral of the movie is, and basically you might unlock a different item in there that will help the process. It's not a simple turn the key type scenario. You have to fight for this. Just like in the Adjustment Bureau.
Hmm.
The whole movie, basically, they were trying to control the guy. But he stood his ground. And then his girlfriend stood her ground. And basically, at the end, they got what they wanted. Their right to choose, to be free, to have free choice. That Interstate 60, in a lot of cases, was all about that too, having the right of free choice. He went through the movie wanting an answer to everything. But he, in the end, had to make up his own decisions to have his right of freedom. Do you need a driver's license? No. Why don't you need a driver's license? Find it out. Don't just go in and argue something, because you get in and you start arguing codes and everything, you're putting yourself under their control. You do UCCs, you're putting yourself under their control. We don't need UCCs. We have our own word. We have our document. And we can make our own apostilles out here against anything that they come up with. Because what are all their documents? Their documents are nothing but apostilles against an insurance policy or a banking contract policy. Why do you need to wear a seatbelt? Because they have an insurance policy, an assurance policy on you and on the vehicle. The certificate of title to the vehicle is an assurance policy. So when they stop you, they're doing an estoppel. That police officer is stopping you. You come back at him with a higher estoppel, and he is dead in the water. Now, he may not know he's dead in the water because half the damn cops are nitwits anyway, okay? They're not the highly intelligent people out here. A few basically will know something about the law, but very few of them will. The real laws. You don't get into an argument with them. You get into that, and basically you're going to suffer the consequences. You go into court. Now, all the judges and the prosecutors, they are supposed to know the laws. There, if they do not follow the law, then you turn around and you take it to a higher court. And they have been the ones that have broken the law. They're not exempt from knowing the law. They are required to know the law. More so than you are. But you should know your basic laws out here and your rights. Who owns this country? It's not the bankers. It's not the corporations. It's not the government. The very first thing in the Constitution and in all the constitutions in this country is we the people. When you start understanding that we the people and we the American Roman citizens are the owners of this country. Because all the laws are based upon the Roman laws. If need be, you get the Curie involved into the process. The canon laws. But you get an understanding of that document that I had Tom post up there about the Gaius, the Institute of Gaius, the persons. And then that is chapter 1. Chapter 2 covers the property rights of the Roman citizens. And then chapter 3, I think, or 4, basically goes into like the inheritance. I'll also send Tom another document that I have, basically that covers out here about the Federal Reserve banking system. I thought I'd posted these up before, but I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. But in there, you can read basically about what is going on in the Federal Reserve banking.
Okay.
You get these documents downloaded, and then basically you start finding a lot of the stuff out here. Some of these were put out by other people out here. They had some misunderstandings in some of the things that they had. Like this Global Sovereign Handbook by Johnny Liberty. There's some good information in there, but you have to basically get a better handle on what he was trying to say.
Hey, Patrick, this is Steve.
Yeah.
On June 10th, it's a pretty good recording. It's about not being, we enlisted, but we can say I quit, or you de-enlist in the Social Security system. And to be private, you have to de-enlist. And that's pretty important there, too. I mean, being private is, and that, you're talking about how to do it. But I just recommend that one. It's June 10th, people.
Patrick, when you get the foreign grantor trust, and it's a 47 number and not a 98 number, is that okay?
As long as it says foreign grantor trust, and pretty much everything is what you want it to say about the foreign grantor trust. If you go in and you read the SS4 on the instructions on page 2 of that for filling in those blanks, then you should be okay.
All right. I just wondered about the number. Because it's the same number as the
individual banker. Well, basically, in some cases, they processed it that way. I don't know. Okay? But if they say that that's what it is, then go with it.
All right. That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more, guys? So we're ready to just get to work on these documents and get them out?
You need to get that estoppel by deed in, and then basically you need to try and get some 1099A and C's and your 1096s on order, and then start going over and working up the documents and your endorsements that you're going to place on the documents, cover letters that you need to write into them. Talk it over.
Right.
Think about what you want to say, and then say it. In a lot of cases, when you're going after the Federal Reserve banking system. You're coming in as a customer. Now, I sent a couple into Chicago, and I got both of them back. They were undelivered to the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. I probably should have sent them into the customer department there in Chicago. But see, that's where you've got to sit down and try. You just don't try one time and give up. You got to keep after them. You get into these torrent engines, and they had a book out there about the Federal Reserve, about banking. Legalized crime of banking. 420-page ebook. It's all about the Federal Reserve banking system. It gives you a good idea, and that's the one that I'm going to be sending to Tom.
Good.
It talks a lot about what's going on here in the process. But you got to realize, we, the people, are the source of all their banking items. We had to give them a letter of credit to allow them to process it and use it as collateral to issue the money back to the banks, to the state, or whoever was utilizing our letter of credit. And these are all basically fidelity and guarantee companies that the government is operating and the banks, the commercial banks, are operating as.
Putman Card.
They are the guarantor when basically we get a charge against our person. They are the obligator or the guarantor, our fictional person, that they are the holders of that fictional person in the mortmain account. So you have to go after them in that capacity, and you then are in as the customer in the process. Pretty much like the song Hotel California. And you can check out any time, but you cannot leave. Because the Roman system is everywhere. We're under the Roman Empire. This whole world system is under the Roman Empire. And it's under the Age of Pisces scenario. You just didn't know how to operate it.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't going to tell you how to operate it. But it's there if you look hard enough. Okay, any other questions?
I have a question about the certificate of live birth draw. I was reading the endorsement, and you need to take a 1099 with you filled out already. And since I don't have a stamp, can I just write it at a 90-degree angle. Is that okay?
You have what now?
I was looking at your endorsement for the certificate of live birth draw, and it says that you need IRS 1099-A, and I was wondering, do I need to take that with me if I walk in to do the draw?
You're not going to be able to pretty much do this at a bank, okay?
At the Federal Reserve Bank in Kansas City.
You're not going to be able to walk in there either. You're going to have to send this in.
Okay.
There is no more open window to walk into the Federal Reserve banks. You basically have to submit this in to them and then into the customer. And basically one of the key things is you're probably going to have to go after Social Security to where that Federal Reserve Bank routing number is. Either that or go to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond and do it against the government agency, Federal Reserve Bank. The 9999 number.
Hmm.
The routing number that has the 4 nines in it. The Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank, the Treasury Direct that has the 4 nines in the middle of it.
I was looking at an endorsement you did on the title on the back. So do I endorse?
You're going to have to talk that over and do an endorsement over to them and basically say, I want to stop all items. You're coming in with your estoppel. You're going to stop all letters of credit that you issued out there, and you want access to your funds. You're claiming your Mortamain account that they're holding. So you're going to be doing an endorsement. Don't necessarily use the endorsements that I had there before. You've got to modify them for the appropriate situation you're coming in now with. The endorsement is what you are planning on doing. How do you want to endorse this? Okay?
Okay.
And then basically, in your process, your cover letter, you would say, I want direct access to all my funds that have been held there in that Mortamain account. I have my rights and powers per the 9th and 10th Amendment in the process. I have my rights for the expatriation, my right to expatriate away from this commercial banking system. That's what the Expatriation Act of 1868 was all about. The symbolism on the dollar bill, the numbers, and everything else. One of the other guys, Gary, up in New Hampshire, basically posted some numerology numbers there, like especially about the Philadelphia Bank, 10 Independence Avenue or Mall. Mall is splitting out from something. Independence, it basically means you are basically becoming independent from them. 10. Basically, you can read the document. It's up there. Tom's posted it.
Yep.
Come on, people. Should be more questions out here. It's you people that have to start working. I've given you the guidance up to this point. Now you have to put your documents together. What do you want to say? It's your book report that you have to write now. I've given you the guidelines of what needs to be done. Now you have to do your part.
I have an off-topic question.
Okay.
I've paid like $30,000 in child support. Is that another thing that I could do a 1099 on, or?
Yes.
Like,
you got a marriage certificate, okay? That marriage certificate is what? It's an assurance policy.
Okay.
Okay? So it had a fidelity policy on one side, and it had a guarantee on the other side.
So even though we're divorced, I could still do that?
Yes. That's what the marriage contract was all about. You had a marriage contract, didn't you?
I did.
And they took a fidelity policy on both partners.
Okay.
Roughly an $11.2 million paid up full letter of credit.
Okay.
Now, they have been utilizing that, and that's why most all of that should be going to the Attorney General's office to settle the matter.
So all the past child support that I've paid in, I can get all that back.
And more.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Treasurer of the state, okay? That you were married in.
Okay.
See, it's the marriage state that basically has that contract.
I was also baptized as a Mormon long, long ago and have since left that organization, so I can claim that too.
You'd have to try and go through the Mormon hierarchy to find out what is available there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they're all 501c organizations, so basically they're another insurance government agency.
That's what
they're a religious government agency.
Yeah, that's what I gathered when I listened to one of your earlier calls. You talked about that, and I was like, wow, okay, this is very interesting how all of this is all about banking. There's nothing here that isn't about banking.
That's right. The whole Bible is about banking.
Yes. I had to laugh when you said that. It's banking and commerce, I think, is what I heard. Is that right? Banking and commerce?
Yeah, intercourse. Commerce is intercourse.
Indeed. Indeed. This is fascinating stuff. It's a little overwhelming because I'm very uneducated in this, but I'm just so excited about this. I am over the moon excited about this, about learning about all of this, because I knew there was something up. I knew something was not right, and I didn't spend a lot of time in school. I found it just useless and realized I didn't miss much anyways, and it was probably the smartest thing I'd done was leave school early. So this is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Muting out now.
Okay. Anybody else?
Guess not, Patrick. I've got my work cut out for me tomorrow, and I know what I'm going to be doing.
I sent you a copy of that PDF on the group, into the groups and everything, over to you directly, and then over to the 2 groups that you have there on Skype. So
Okay.
basically, you should be able to get it downloaded.
Sure. And if it's big enough, well, if it's too big, I'll put a link up there on Yahoo. Otherwise, I'll just post it on Yahoo.
Yeah, and I'll try and get these couple other documents over to you too. So
That's great. Thank you. Okay, guys, we have to continue working together on this.
On the biblical numerology document, after some of the numerology on the first page, there's 2 more pages. It just has listed numbers with words like divine government and disorder, disintegration, deliverance, salvation. Is that just for our just familiarity, or is there a purpose for all these words, or what?
yeah, each number has a certain item.
Oh, okay.
Classification. Okay.
Yeah.
8. Okay, means new birth.
New birth.
49 basically is the last year before the year of Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Right.
49 is also 4 or 7 sevenths.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
7
so
is a big number, okay?
Right,
See,
these numbers are
numerology is very big in understanding what's going on here.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, it's all kind of new. I didn't know each number was associated with this definition following. I see it
Yeah,
now,
we've
though.
had these numbers out here for 5-6 years in a lot of cases. We've gone over these. Jack Smith basically was big into the numbers and everything, but he didn't know how to apply a lot of this stuff in the process. And see, that's what in some cases some of these people have had parts of this, but they didn't know how to pull it all together. And that's one of the key things that I've had a problem with a lot of people out here, is because they think that I'm totally arrogant and everything. Well, maybe I am a little arrogant, belligerent, shit like that, in a lot of cases. But basically, I'm pulling it all together.
Right. Yeah, I didn't understand it. I see the numbers now do mean the words. That's good. It just it doesn't really have a note or anything. You're just supposed to figure that out.
Yeah, and each letter also has a number, has a harmonics, and basically the whole universe is operating in harmonics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there again, if the whole universe is operating in harmonics, it's in numbers. Okay, rhythm. Okay, what is the harmonic value? The harp system out here that's trying to control the weather, what's it operating with? It's operating in different numbers of the harmonic frequencies.
Right. Yeah, some of these I just never seen before, like 119 is the call to resurrection, yet falling short. 100, God's election of grace, children of promise. Yeah, we'll just have to get familiar with it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Question, Patrick, what was the book you referenced to in relation to the Federal Reserve?
Well, I just sent Tom 2 items, or 1 item, okay?
Okay.
And he'll post it up on the group site there if you're not on the Skype group. Okay?
Yes, I am.
The legalized crime of banking.
Okay.
And then the other document I'll be sending up is going to be the secret history.
Okay. Did you get in? Have you seen the Patrick Group's Skype window? We were talking on Skype before, but are you in the group now, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, because he just posted legalized crime of banking in the Skype group. You'll just have to press on the icon and it'll download to you.
Okay. This is killer.
Should be able to. If not, basically you have to try and get accepted. Send me an email and get accepted, and then I can send it to you or whatever. If you can't.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I worked with Bill earlier trying to get on Skype.
Or Patrick, if you just accept people's friend requests on Skype, then they can download it. You don't have to send it by email.
So what?
If you accept someone's contact request on Skype so that they can download what you just posted, then you don't have to resend it again by email. You can just have them. You can just allow them to they'll be able to download it on Skype.
Yeah, on Skype, yeah. But
you
some
gotta
cases,
accept the contact request.
Yeah, some cases if they can't download it right away, they have to contact me, and then I have to accept them. And then basically, they still can't download it. I have to turn around and send it to them, that copy, back to them when they contact me, when I accept them.
Yeah, that's why I prefer the primary distribution be on Yahoo and the e-concurrent site, because you don't have to go through that rigmarole.
Yeah, you can always add it on later, okay?
Right.
And you should have both those documents now, Tom.
I have them, right. I've downloaded them.
There's a lot of reading there.
Oh, yeah.
You need to read it all, not necessarily, but you need to get an understanding of where they're coming from.
Right.
You need to know thy enemy.
Sure do.
Just the title, The Legalized Crime of Banking.
Right.
That sounds really interesting and sounds informative.
Yeah. And it's got some of the answers right there. Now that we understand what we're looking for.
Right.
And it's only 143 pages.
That's quick reading.
Yep.
And most of the stuff is right in the first couple chapters.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thanking you.
Oh, okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a comment of something that I learned a while back about the definition of legal. Black's Law, fourth edition, says that legal means to appear as law, yet not be law, under the color of law. So
That's
to
right.
have the title be legalized crime, it's going to give me some information on what they're using to be to appear as being lawful.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, the legalese system of laws. And basically, that's the codes of law, the legalese.
Yes.
The fraudulent laws.
The fraud. So that's what I'm looking forward to is reading up on that so that next time maybe I can bring in my opinion and hopefully it'll help me apply what you provided.
Now, see, on these estoppel by deeds, okay, you don't just necessarily have to stop by doing that estoppel by deed with the county recorder's office. You have a court case, okay? You can put an estoppel by deed into that court case. You can stop that court case because they're all operating under the legalese system of an estoppel. And you come in and basically read the definition in Black's 4th or 6th dictionary about estoppel against estoppel.
Okay.
And see, that's where the court case that I came up with was right out of that one about this one guy or person going against the United States Fidelity and Guarantee Company. And that United States Fidelity and Guarantee Company was the company that was created in 1871 by the bankers out of London.
Okay.
That's the copyrighted company. The postal system is the same way. The Veterans Administration is the same way. The Social Security Administration is the same way. It's a Fidelity and Guarantee Company. We gave them a letter of credit when we gave them a signature. That letter of credit turns out to be approximately $11.2 million. As they draw a fully funded policy draw against our American inheritance. And it's sitting in a mortmain account, a dead man's account, in the process. And then all of our assurance funds are sitting there off to the side, attached to that mortmain account. It's sort of like a piggy bank, and you just have to know where to insert the key and unlock the piggy bank. Because basically one of the key things was they set up a safety deposit system in this country, in the Treasury. So all these mortmain accounts are really safety deposit boxes within the Federal Reserve banking system. But they're mortmain accounts. They're dead man's accounts. And that's why they operate with the birth date, BIRTH date, because that certificate of live birth is also a death certificate for your fictional person. And your fictional person is your birth sac. Does anybody have a problem in understanding that? It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
this thing can't be that complicated.
Makes a lot of sense.
And then we're the senior customer. The customer is always right. Haven't you heard that before?
Yes.
As new as I am to this topic, you have explained it in ways that really have made sense. I mean, you've used a lot of analogies and examples, and it's really helped to make a lot of sense to something that I knew nothing about. So, yeah. Indeed.
Well, see, that's one of the key things, that everybody was trying to make this harder than what it really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It couldn't be that hard because basically you got to look at these people, okay? Like the monarchy and everything else. The Blumenbergs, basically they're a family. They're sort of like, in some cases, like the Mormons and some of these religious groups out here that have been interbreeding for years.
Right.
Their mentality is controlled by the process of all their interbreedings. They haven't expanded outward.
Right.
Where we've had that option to expand outward, so we ought to be smarter than they are. Because we have freedom of choice. They don't. They're controlled.
That's becoming apparent to me.
Yeah, all religions.
I've heard it. This is definitely becoming apparent to me.
Yeah.
It's a completely different feeling. Allowing that paradigm shift is it feels different. You've referenced Bouvier's Valentine's and Black's dictionaries.
Here we go.
In law terms, which editions do you prefer on the Bouvier's, on the Valentine's, and the Blacks?
The Bouvier's, there's only one, basically the one that basically we have up there on the site, okay? And basically they've tried to update that copy that normally is out there, that 1856 version. It basically is constantly updated, okay?
Okay.
And then the Valentine's the same way, okay? The Blacks, basically they have different editions, but there again, you should be able to get the first edition, the fourth edition, and the sixth edition. Out there you can get all the other editions too. And then you can start going through.
That are better, right?
Well, not necessarily, okay?
No? Oh, okay.
You have to look at each one of them and basically say, did they change something in the wording?
Sure.
Why did they change it? Why was there an update to a different word? Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
See, the original item under estoppel in Black's first didn't have as much information as it did in Black's fourth.
Oh, I see. You got to use them all.
Yeah,
Great.
That's why. And then you have to go to different ones because, like, estoppel by deed is pointed out in Valentine's dictionary, but it is not expressly pointed out lines in Black's to find estoppel by deed. So you have to do a comparison between the different dictionaries, and then even an old Oxford Universal Dictionary, because in some cases the law dictionaries are not going to cover some of the other words that you need to know out here in the real world.
I see.
Because they're only dealing with law.
All right. Excellent.
And we'll be using Anderson's dictionary too, won't we?
What?
We'll still be using Anderson's dictionary too.
Anderson's dictionary is another good one, okay? There's numerous ones out there, and basically Tom's got quite a few of them downloaded on the site.
Oh.
There's other documents out there one of the links that's on the group site there. You can go in and download a whole bunch of different documents that they have out there. Tennessee or Kentucky basically had a couple documents there about certain items about the law, common law.
Okay.
There's resources out there if people want to go and find and check out these resources.
Right. Indeed. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments?
I have a question.
Okay, ask it. Speak up a little.
Okay, yeah. So you're talking about the court cases. So in almost all actions, it's basically the estoppel against estoppel action, and then you're putting it against the case and all of their assurance policies, bonds, and then you can just custom tailor it and even make it into constitutional threshold by bringing in your 9th and 10th Amendment rights, as well as all these other bank robbery acts, embezzlements, and you're really creative with it depending on what the specific situation is, and then tailor it to the form.
They're taking you into court on a specific item, like on a driver's license, a certificate of title, a mortgage, something along that lines. What is the instrument? See, they need to have a banking instrument that they're taking you into that court, because that court is an insurance banking court.
Yeah. Right.
So that's what you're writing the estoppel, and you have the superior deed over that. You're the superior owner of that deed.
Yes. Okay, great. Kind of understand it from all the different things that were done in the past too. Thank you.
Yeah. Now you don't get hung up on going back and trying to seek revenge. You've got to let things lie and basically move forward.
Yes. Just was asking the question because, like, for people who've already checked out of the motel, it's so to speak, and are operating as individual bankers in the fiction side, and then you probably can anticipate some harm and injury coming your way from agents that may not understand. So if you are going to enforce,
some of these people that think they've checked out of the motel, they checked out, but they still have got the room rented.
Right.
They're still renting the room, okay? So they really haven't checked out. They've left their baggage and everything still sitting in the room. Okay? It's that simple.
Yeah.
So they really haven't checked out. They think they've checked out, but they've left their baggage behind.
Yes.
Because they never claimed it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how to claim it.
Yeah, thank you. No, I just had a question about future events. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
And then basically looking at the Federal Reserve banks, it looks like, and they've got different branches or offices in those banks, and it looks like we're going to have to come in as a customer.
Okay.
What does the Attorney General's office have? Basically, customer complaint forms. Everything is about being a customer. You go to a commercial bank. What are you? You're the customer.
Right.
So now start looking at it as you are the customer. Okay? You're the depositor, but you're the customer in that bank.
Right. Thank you.
And then it all reverts back to custom, the custom of the system, the banking customs.
Great, wonderful.
Yeah. And then what do you have in basically tariff taxes? The custom taxes.
Yes.
The custom house. Customs.
Very interesting, yeah. Tariff Tax Act, yes. Okay.
Now, see how all these things sort of correlate back to one another.
Yeah. All right, I just have to find the customer section for sending this into Philadelphia by tomorrow. But yeah, thanks.
And then basically seeing that Fatima there, basically that just blew me away when I saw that. Wait a minute, Fatima, what the hell is going on here? Why is that word there? Need to look up that definition of what Fatima really means in their banking system.
Right.
You're talking about Fatima and Boop and the senior research assistant?
Huh?
The Federal Reserve has a Fatima and Boop, a senior research assistant.
Yeah, but basically just the word Fatima. Why is it Fatima? What does Fatima mean? See, you see things like this, you research it. Find out what's going on here. Something isn't quite right. Do the other banks have Fatima in them? No. As far as I can see, Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago didn't have a Fatima there. But they had a customer office there. And then you have a court case or anything like that. You get the customer complaint form with the Attorney General's office, and you file that customer complaint form in there. You don't file the customer complaint, you can't complain. You're not going to get response to your complaint if you don't complain.
Right.
You're just bitching and moaning. What did Harold do? What did I do when we went to the attorney or to the inspector general for the Social Security Administration? We did a customer complaint. Guess what? We got a response immediately, a correction. So if you don't complain, you are not going to get a resolve. You go into court, you file a complaint against the court. You're going to get a resolve against that complaint that you file against that court action. That court overstepped its bounds. They didn't know, and they were infringing upon your rights. But if you don't complain, nobody's going to help you.
Okay.
Because they don't have, they can't. You've got to do it.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
That's right. And that's what the squeak is all about. That's the complaint. So when you start squeaking, you're complaining. Pretty simple, straightforward, logical, as Mr. Spock would say in Star Trek.
That's right.
Hang on just a sec. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the phone. Oh. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, it's Patrick, Garibaldi, California. I did a coupon draw to San Francisco, but of course back then, a couple of weeks ago, we did not put the 1099A with it. So would it be good to follow up with a 1099A to them or to the IRS?
Well, you're going to send one to the IRS. You're going to send the red copy to, you're out there there, so you got to send it to Kansas City, the red copy, and you send them the C copy, the lender's copy of the 1099A. And then you keep the B copy as you are the borrower.
Mm-hmm.
And then if need be, if they don't respond, then you turn around and you do the 1041 against that value for those 1099As that you submitted.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so I was almost thinking about the 1099A and the 1041 together, but I guess it's do the 1099A.
No, you don't
first.
send the 1041 into the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, that goes to the IRS.
Yeah, the IRS, yeah. Okay, thank you.
But when you do to the IRS, you can send a copy of that, your B copy, along with the 1041 if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
To substantiate your claims for your on line 24E for your 1099As that you're claiming. You can go the extra distance in this process. You don't have to do the bare minimum. You can get the A+.
Huh.
And you might get a faster response when you do that.
Okay.
And you can also put in your estoppel by deed when you process this into both the Federal Reserve Bank, coming in as the customer with your complaint, that you're complaining that you want your assurance funds released from your mortgage accounts. And then you put your estoppel by deed and banker's lien document in there also that you have a claim against that account, that you are the lawful claimant. Customer, you're the lawful customer. And you're approaching it as your individual banker in the process, your chief financial officer. See, they can only deal with fictions. And see, that's what that Gaius, and if you want to, use that Gaius, American Gaius or American Gaius Roman citizen in the process. The elites in the banking system do know about the Roman laws in banking. Don't think that they don't.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
In reference to the estoppel, I'm just sitting here reading the definition of estoppel, and a man's own act or acceptance stops or closes his mouth to allege or plead the truth. Then an estoppel arises when one is concluded and forbidden by law to speak against his own act or deed. In the maritime jurisdiction court, this is what they do. They put us in a position where we as the living have no voice. We really can't speak on the act that they've committed to put us in the position that we end up in court on.
That's right. And see, that's what they're coming in. That's what they're coming in. They're coming in with an estoppel against you. But it's just an estoppel. You turn around and you do an estoppel by deed over that document. Your estoppel by deed now shuts their mouth. You have the superior estoppel. And see, that's an estoppel against estoppel when you read the definition in Black's 4th and 6th about estoppel against estoppel. You can either nullify both estoppels, or basically one estoppel has superiority over the other.
And that's what it was saying here.
Yeah.
The elements or essentials of the estoppel include change of positions of the parties, so that party against whom estoppel is invoked has received the profit or benefit, or the party invoking estoppel has changed his position to his detriment. So I can go in with that estoppel, which puts me back in the position of authority.
You take control as an estoppel by deed. It also becomes, when you get that recorded into the court or into the county, recorder's office, now it is an estoppel by record. And that is the highest estoppel out there.
Okay. I'm going to have to do that. Okay.
Now, see, they can't force you to have insurance. To have insurance basically places you in an indentured servitude.
Right.
It has to be voluntary. So stop volunteering. You got the full faith and credit of the Treasury of the United States of America behind you as an American Roman Gaius citizen. You also have the World Treasury, too, since you're a Roman citizen. And see, therefore, you stand higher than the churches also.
Estoppel is a powerful thing.
Yes. And you don't need to have this notarized either. You do a notarization on these documents, and basically you're going to be placing yourself into the public realm again.
Right.
And basically, this estoppel, these documents, are every bit, if not more powerful, than an affidavit. But an affidavit, in their definition, they want a notarization on there.
Mm.
And see, you've got your letters of identification with those IRS letters that they sent to you, assigning you that EIN number. That's your identification letter for your fictions.
Wow.
You need to have your 3 kings or your 3 aces out here, and then you pick up your 4th ace or king, which is the dead man's account.
The mortmain.
The mortmain account.
It's starting to make sense.
And see, that's the highest law or the highest hand in gambling. Is 4 of a kind, especially if you've got 4 aces or 4 kings, because there can't be a royal flush out here now. Because there's no other king or no other ace that they can put in their hand to have a royal flush to stand against you. So when you get your 4 aces or 4 kings, you have the highest hand in poker. It's all about gambling, too.
Wow.
And then, like I said, all these states and everything else are nothing but like MGM Grand or Caesar's Palace or, I can't remember, I don't know, half the new casinos that are out there in Vegas. But that's all these states are. They're just another damn big casino. And they give you coupons to operate with out here. But you didn't know how to cash those coupons in. And you need to take those to the customer complaint department at the Attorney General's office and process them through. That I would hit the big 3, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and also the Treasurer of the state. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Patrick. Would the Richmond Federal Reserve for the postal system, take care of penalty envelopes? You think we should try that?
It may. I don't know.
Okay, I'll give it a try. I got $6,900 worth of them.
Are you saying, Patrick, that we should try to redeem our certificate of live birth coupons with the Secretary of the State and the Attorney General instead of the Federal Reserve, or are you just talking about doing that for estoppels?
I'm talking about the instruments that basically are issued by the states, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Like the driver's license, like the certificate of title to your vehicle, like the certificate of title to your property, your house, okay?
Yeah.
That basically, they've got charges against you for like state income tax. They've got charges against you for property taxes. You send those into the customer department there at the Attorney General's office to have them settled.
Right.
You take a 1099-A and you put a copy of that. You can always get another coupon. May cost you $5, $10 or whatever to get another driver's license, to get another certificate of title to the vehicle.
Right.
But all they are is certificates.
Right.
They're coupons.
Right.
They're not the original.
Right. That's coupon too. Okay, I got you.
The original is basically being held by the Federal Reserve Bank for that area because they need to have that as the collateral document that they're utilizing out here to allow the funds to come out of the Federal Reserve Bank to fund the state.
Okay.
I got it.
To fund the mortgage on the house. The local banks don't have any money. So where do they get it? They have to borrow it from the Federal Reserve Bank. Well, they have to put something on file with the Federal Reserve Bank to be able to borrow the money from the Federal Reserve Bank. So what do they put? They put our letter of credit on file.
Right.
See, the people that have been going into all these mortgage foreclosures and everything have been going to the wrong damn place.
Yeah, like you said, we're just learning how to be bankers. It's nothing we've ever done before.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yet you operate that way every day with a commercial bank.
Mm-hmm.
You're just taking it one step higher.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
People should have been able to figure this one out a long time ago. Because they've been talking about that the banks don't have any money, so where do they get it from? They can't print the money, so they have to get it from the Federal Reserve banks. And Congress authorized the Federal Reserve banks to basically print up the money. And then the local banks and the state and everything else write the bonds that basically are being placed out there to try and get the payment back to pay off the money that they borrowed from the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah, that's the bond becomes the obligation, or the obligor.
It becomes the instrument, the paying instrument, to make the assurance payments. That is the guarantee side of the Fidelity and Guarantee Company. Is the bonds. They have to pay us rent for the usage of our letters of credit. At the same time, they're paying the item off that they borrowed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Any other questions? I hope this makes this a little simpler for understanding about this system.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, go ahead and call it a night then, Tom. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Patrick. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. Thank
Ray,
you,
are you
Patrick.
still there?
Good evening.
Okay, good night.
Ray?
Tom.
Ray,
Yeah.
are you still there?
What's up?
Did you say that you were going to send me the SR form?
The SS4. And that's not
SS